Benjamin Franklin, writer, inventor, scientist, politician, a man who accomplished so many things in so many domains. You see, from all the great people that I've studied, especially the ones that came after Franklin, literally all of them have mentioned Franklin at some point in, their learning journey, right? I've heard Elon Musk describe Benjamin Franklin as one of his great mentors, someone he learned a lot from. Charlie Munger as well, right? Someone with so much wisdom like Charlie even said that he doesn't even come close to Franklin. I remember him saying in an interview, he's like, I am no Benjamin Franklin. And so I learned my lesson from that, and I'm like, okay, it's my turn to study Franklin now. All these guys have studied him, so now I got to jump on board. And I learned a few things from studying Franklin. The first thing that I learned is that there is literally not any limit to what you can accomplish in your life, right? A lot of us think that we have to choose one thing, one domain for our entire lives and stick to it. And I think someone like Elon has also shown that you don't need to do that. You can do a lot of different things. But Franklin really exemplified that, right? Being a scientist, right? Being an inventor, being a writer, being a politician, one of the founding fathers of the United States, right? He was so well respected and admired for all the things that he accomplished. I think that he is probably going to still be, for the time being, one of the most impactful people ever, right? Ever, who accomplished so many different things. The next thing that I learned from Franklin is, you got to have a good sense of humor in all this, right? When we're growing, when we're trying to do great things, it gets rough, and we can become very harsh and, just wanting to be successful and not having any humor or fun in the process. Franklin was humorous. He was funny. He made people laugh. And I think that that's really important. The next thing I learned from Franklin is the importance of not saying a lot, listening more than you speak, right? In congressional hearings and things that Franklin was a part of, in meetings, he would be very quiet, almost too quiet, to the point where at one point people thought that he was a traitor. Yeah, they thought he was a traitor to American independence because he was so quiet. It made them suspicious of him. They're like, why is he so quiet? And it's because I think Franklin understood that listening more than you speak is really important. And when you speak, you want it to be impactful. You want what you talk about to really hit hard. So that's why Franklin was quiet to a point where, like I said, people found it suspicious. Also from Franklin, a thing that I learned is that, you got to prioritize family and make it important. Something that Franklin didn't really do too much in his life. I think that I am a person who struggles with, balancing hard work and doing big things and having all this ambition with maintaining relationships. And it seems that Franklin had the same issue. And I think that it's fine, right? If we're on this relentless pursuit to do great things, then it's all right if relationships fall off in your life. They can always come back at some point later in life. You can always, reconnect with people if you haven't seen them for a long time. But there's going to be a period of time where it's going to be difficult and you're going to have to make hard decisions, just like Franklin made a hard decision, right? When, Franklin's son went to jail and, his son's wife was pleading with him to let him out, pleading with Franklin to let his son out of jail, he stood firm and he didn't prioritize, kind of his family first, I guess. He prioritized the mission of America. He had such a big mission for American independence that nothing could get in his way of that. That was That was the sole objective. And if it meant that, his son had to be in jail for defying, right, the mission, then so be it. Then so be it, right? So yeah, guys, look, studying Franklin is going to be super beneficial to you. I learned a lot. Probably the final thing that I learned is just attention to detail. And attention to detail and cutting out the fluff, cutting out the things you don't need. Franklin, when he was given a draft by Thomas Jefferson of the Constitution, he went through it and made some edits which, didn't seem too big, but which were impactful, right? Changing a word here or there could change the entire meaning of what's written, of the sentence, of the paragraph, of the whole document as a whole. So that's something that Franklin did, attention to detail, and then relentless cutting out. Jefferson recalls a story where Franklin told him that there was a guy who wanted to start a hat store selling hats, and he had some kind of long phrase to describe who he was. He was like, I'm a hatter that sells hats for money. And he wanted to put that on the outside of his store to advertise it. And Franklin talks about how they relentlessly cut out a lot of the stuff in there. When the guy gave him, when the guy showed it to people to kind of get feedback on it, he's like, oh, I'm going to put this outside of my store. Franklin said that they cut out basically everything from the long sentence that the guy had to describe his store and what he was advertising. And it just ended up being the guy's name, forgot the guy's name, something Thompson or something, and then a photo of a hat. And that was the only thing on the outside of the store. And I think that's super important. Relentless cutting out of things that we don't need, guys. So often we overcomplicate it, right? You don't need to say, I'm a hatter who sells hats to make for money, right? People know that you're selling hats to make money, right? You're not just giving them out for free, right? Because that's not how a business works. So that you don't need, right? You don't need to tell people you're a hatter, right? If you already tell them you're selling hats. And then you don't need to tell people you're selling hats. You just put a hat on the outside of the store. And people naturally know, oh, okay, that's a store that sells hats. So we don't need to overcomplicate things, guys. Make it really simple. Really simple. Just like Steve Jobs said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And I truly believe that. That's why, with all the things that I see going out right now in business, I'm at a business conference right now, and I see a lot of people overcomplicating things. Really overcomplicated. Trying to do a lot of different things, be the all-in-one solution, whatever it might be. And I don't think that that's going to work, really. I think when people overcomplicate things, it becomes a mess. And so that's why, going back to the principles of, Steve Jobs, of Franklin, of Elon, of Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, all these guys who have accomplished great things in their chosen domain, it's because they made it really simple. And they narrowed it down to certain principles that you just have to follow. And if you follow those principles, you'll be good. The fact is, most of us don't want to follow those principles and have the discipline to do that because it's boring, right? We want new things all the time as human beings. We want something new and fresh. But it's often the simple principles that work the best. It's just not the most sexy thing in the world, right? Anyways, guys, pick up Franklin, Ben Franklin's biography by Walter Isaacson. A great biography. It's not called Franklin, by the way. Benjamin Franklin. Here, let me get the name for you real quick. Benjamin Franklin, An American Life by Walter Isaacson. I think it's a great book. I'm still finishing it up. I only have a few pages left. And anyways, guys, I'm really grateful for you. This is Blaze of Cyan signing off. Talk to you guys soon. And yeah, see you later. Bye.